Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Today we're learning from a serial entrepreneur. Dorry has built hugely successful businesses like DKM Blue, a leading merchandise and uniforms company, and his current venture, Swanky Socks, of which he's CEO. In fact, he's once owned or part-owned the Sydney Kings as well as the Illawarra Hawks in the National Basketball League. He's written business books, he's made it onto various rich lists, and he's won awards for ethical business. I'm pleased to say that Dorry joins me in the studio. Dorry, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Thank you, Sean. How are you going?
Very well, thank you. Dorry and I knew each other about 30 years ago.
A while ago
25 years ago,
yeah,
probably.
Definitely a while ago.
And it has been great to watch DKM Blue because you've had that for a long time, that business. Tell us that story.
Yeah, look, my background started in the merchandise game, but prior to that, as you would know, I was a hairdresser by trade and started from nothing and, then started DKM Blue in my parents' garage and I guess, took a leap forward and sort of built it from nothing. Went to China at a very young age and sort of found a niche in importing directly, which a lot of companies weren't doing in our industry at the time. And fortunately enough, all the decisions that I made at a young age sort of paid off.
Did they all pay off, or is it just one of those ones where more paid off than didn't pay off, and so you kind of, you learn from your mistakes and you build?
Well, look, I guess for me, the main thing was I worked in my cousin's business for 3 to 4 years prior to starting my own. So for me, failing everything at school, having no degree in anything, that was my university degree. And everything that I did in that company just taught me a lot about the industry. And I got my foundations, sort of the theory right. But then I had to get out there and do it on my own and get the practical right. And fortunate enough for me, it's taking those small steps and not just sort of, running before you can run. So if I've done anything incorrectly, it's just been calculated decision making, which haven't really put me back in a massive way.
DKM Blue, given it was a startup right now, how old is it now? 30 years or thereabouts?
It's 24 years now.
Yeah, 24 years, righto. So what does it do? And like, how have you been able to keep it growing? Keep it vibrant, I suppose.
Well, look, for me, going to China at a young age was very important because we're at the foundation of importing directly when China was a very closed market. We do corporate merchandise, branding, promotional products. We do work with literally every fast food chain in the country. We do work, with your Microsofts, your Samsungs, your Mercedes-Benz. We do uniform programs. So I guess for me, everything that I've talked to people about is being consistent with what you do and sticking to the foundations of what your business stands for. And when you start making money, people start trying to get creative and trying to diverse too far, too quick, too much. And you've seen a lot of big companies almost go under because they try to diversify what they do too much. We've always kept it traditional. We've kept it to our true values and the true crux of what we do, which is selling merchandise and uniforms. And we've built online platforms. So we've had to sort of transition with an online platform system, which gives clients the ability to be able to log on and place their stock via our system. So the full 3PL system that we've adopted. So, look, for us, it's been consistent across the board and you build your foundation and you build your cash flow and then you can keep on growing and doing what you need to do.
Swanky Socks. In fact, when we talked about this, our producer, Michael, said, have you heard of Swanky Socks? And
Are you wearing some Swanky Socks? I've got to get you some.
I may actually be some, but my sister gave me Swanky Socks for my birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and so I actually do know Swanky Socks. In fact, I may have a pair on now. But tell me about that story.
Well, look, that one there, I was an ambassador for Shivers Regal. I was sort of doing a bit of work with them, and they had this whole venture program that was sort of running.
You can't drop that, Dorry. So you've gone from merchandising to an ambassador for Shivers Regal.
Like, I did a bit of events for them around sort of, being a distinguished gentleman, drinking my scotches at the time, and we did a sort of a couple of promotions together. I think one of them was on my Instagram, so we did a sort of something at my house. And they had this whole venture program, which was around social entrepreneurship. And Tom Lawrence, who was pitching the business at the time, was one of the finalists. I had a couple of fashion brands at the time, and I saw him pitch his sock business. Liked the concept, liked the idea. Called him in for a meeting after that. I was in the crowd just watching. I think that there's a few judges there that didn't see, I guess, the potential that I saw. And I called him in for a meeting and asked him to talk to me about his business a little bit more. I was doing 40,000 revenue in its third year, so it wasn't really a business. I was more of a hobby. I saw a gap in the market in the merchandise industry, so I really wanted to focus on building the brand in the retail sector. but also take the brand into the corporate market and have customized branded socks for multinationals, leveraging off a retail brand, which was never done in this country before. So we've taken them from a startup now. We've got offices in London. We're selling into the US, into Europe, Australia. We've done probably now over 3 million socks in the last 7 years.
Wow.
So it's I always love trying to find different niches in the market, and that's one of them. And there's a few other products that I'm launching at the moment. We've got a global patent product called Zip Zip, which we're going to roll out very soon. We've got another product called Toucan. So
are they all in broadly merchandising / clothing?
Product development, merchandise. Now what I'm trying to focus on is building brands. And one thing I've always been great at is building brands. And when you build a brand, you're taking away the element of I'm buying because I like you.
Yeah.
If you build a brand, they're going to want to buy the brand. As long as you can offer the service and the quality behind that brand, you're going to be able to get the customers. And that's, I guess with the Swanky Sock business, we built the brand focused on, we just did a collaborative licensing deal with Douglas Costa, who's playing for Sydney FC, who's a Brazilian World Cup soccer player, played for Juventus and Bayern Munich. The guy's earned a lot of money over his career. He's, played with Cristiano Ronaldo and all that sort of guy. So to sign him up on a multi-year licensing deal for Swanky Socks for our retail collection, it's a massive step for us. And it gives us that platform where we can really push our retail brand internationally, which also adds value to our corporate B2B market, which is where we're focusing on as well.
Stay with me, Dorry. We'll be back in a minute. My guest this morning is entrepreneur Dorry Kodahi. Dorry, you mentioned briefly social media before. How important is or has social media been to you?
Look, everything we've done, it hasn't driven our business. It definitely adds value. It's a good way to communicate with your audience, and that for us, having the retail brand such as your Swanky Socks, getting your socials right, getting your look and feel right is important. I know there are a lot of companies out there that really rely heavily on that to really drive the narrative and getting you influencers on board. We haven't gone down that path at the moment. I've kept it conventional, focusing on the brand and the quality of the product. And we do spend a lot of money in Google paid advertising within our business to drive a broader reach internationally. So look, we are getting to that space a little bit more now that we're pushing the retail angle with our socks and having Douglas on board signed up. We are going to have to now leverage off a lot of our commercials and getting the social media platforms, thriving with all our content that we're doing.
You have a bent towards sport. You were a co-owner at one point of the Kings, the Sydney Kings, more recently the Illawarra Hawks.
I'm a sucker for punishment.
Yeah, I know. But is it just the fact that you have been successful, you are able to do it?
Yeah, look, for me, basketball gave me a lot of my successes, and having no degree and failing what I did at school, basketball was my drive, and playing it professionally overseas when I was younger, I was able to draw from my basketball experience, and I leveraged off that into how do you build a team. So for me, building up my team and my theories in business, I leveraged a lot of my basketball career. So I'm passionate about the sport. I was a player. I was a player agent, then a co-owner. I was on the advisory board with Larry Kisserman for a couple of years for the NBL. So, for me, it's just giving back to the sport that gave me a lot. Has it made me money? No, but there's a passion and a hobby of what you love doing, and I love testing myself in the sporting administrative space, which I think I didn't do too well. I didn't do too bad. I did pretty well with what we've done so far.
Yeah. So what next? I mean, you have actually said there's a couple of products that you want to get out there. And you were really successful. Now I think this is right, but you're on the young rich. When I was running BRW, you were on the young rich, right?
So I was.
So you've got to be well under 40 to be on that.
I was. I'm still under 40, aren't I?
You are. You look like you're under 40 with that Chivas Regal back on the couch. What next, though?
Look, for me right now, it's to really compound what we've done. There's a lot of growth with Swanky Socks and where we're going with it, as well as Zip Zip and Toucan. They're at the infancy stages, so I really want to get those brands out at the moment as well. So I am getting older, so I do want to work smarter, not harder, and that's my goal right now.
I cannot imagine. You have a lot of energy though. Like
I do.
You're not the sort of guy that thinks, oh, I might catch up on my Netflix. So
No. I very rarely watch TV.
Yeah.
I've always got music in the background. So, fortunate enough, I've got a yacht as well, which I've turned into a charter business as well. So that's a hobby that I've converted into a charter business. So for me, it's all about, if you're going to have hobbies, how can you get them to generate you revenue other than lose money on it? So
I'm going to have to hang out with you more. You got a yacht, you got whiskey, you got basketball teams.
Can't complain.
Is it a fun life?
Look, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But I love doing what I love doing. And for me, if you enjoy what you do, it's not work. So people think, oh, you're pretty lucky, you've got a good life. But I tell you what, 25 years of doing what I'm doing, it's not easy. So I've sacrificed a lot, I've worked hard, but you've got to enjoy the process and enjoy the fruits of your successes. And now I'm starting to try to do that now. And one of my epiphanies when you get older is enjoy the now.
Yeah.
When you're always racing and you're running, you're always worrying about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. So I've really taken a step back and looked at my life and said, you know what? I have done a lot. It's time to enjoy what you've done to a degree, but still have your pulse on the future as well. So, yeah, balance is what it's all about at the moment.
Dorry, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Thank you very much.
That was entrepreneur Dorry Kodahi. This is the Fear and Greed Business Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed Business News you can use. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.